Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Kalisha Williams. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Data scientists suggest decline in murder rate does not tell the full picture about homicides. JSC examining job descriptions for MPs meet after more than a year. And later in sports, Ravel Morrison added to Reggae Boys' squad for Unity Cup. Now the details. A data scientist and epidemiologist at the University of the West Indies, Professor Christopher Charles, says Jamaica's murder crisis must be viewed in the context of long-term trends. Speaking on Power 106's Morning Agenda Monday, Professor Charles warns that focusing only on the year-to-year changes misses a bigger issue of a steady rise in homicides since independence. Shamela Pullen reports.
The murder rate in Jamaica went down from 49.3 in 2023 to 40.2 in 2024. That's according to data scientist and epidemiologist at the University of the West Indies, Professor Christopher Charles. Professor Charles says the small drop doesn't show the full picture.
All I'm saying is that what the government, some people in the media, and primarily the Jamaica Constable, what they have been doing is giving you the difference between the homicide rate this year and last year, and then say all kinds of things about it. And I'm saying that's unscientific, it's dishonest, right? And it's designed to trick the people.
He says while the drop is still good, looking at only short-term numbers is misleading. Professor Charles also urged that short-term drops don't mean the police are fixing the issue.
So in 1962 at independence, the homicide rate was 3.7 per 100,000, right? In 2024, right, it was 40.4. It was, all right? So it's over a tenfold increase. So what I'm saying, we must appreciate the drop, but I'm not excited because if you look from 1997 onwards, we have seen similar drops, yearly drops, but the homicide rate increase again. So why when we see these drops, it's up and down.
He says to make Jamaica safer, real solutions are needed to fix the root of the problem, not just more police.
We have argued that you need to intervene within families in terms of parenting. You can teach parenting in schools, all over the school system, and you can intervene in the family. Just like how the community health nurse comes and look to the mother to check up, we can have social workers visit homes, in the same way, to engage about parenting when the mother comes to the hospital and she's pregnant, or the father. Medical social workers can engage them over time.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
2 weeks after a taxi driver pleaded guilty for causing the death of 2 Lennon High School students in Clarendon in a motor vehicle crash in December, the victims' families are speaking out. While the taxi driver, Kenmore Wint, has taken responsibility for the crash, his sentencing has been put on hold. More in this report.
Shanna Lee Pinnock is the mother of Richard Tulloh, who was killed in this motor vehicle crash along with another student, Jordan Lodge, on the Bustamante Highway in December 2024. While she's happy that the accused taxi operator, Kenmore Wint, has pleaded guilty, she's not pleased. The sentencing was put on hold on Monday, May 14, because Mr. Wint's attorney wanted time to review some documents he had received that day.
I really feel good, but as them say, justice to my son, so I have to just wait and see about what's going to take place on that day. I don't feel good because I miss me pitney. Every day I cry. I now go home to him now come home from school to me. He tear me up a lot.
Wint was charged with causing death by dangerous driving, driving without a road license, and having no car insurance. The mother of the female student, Jordan Lodge, also reacted to the latest development with the case.
They say that would be the last and they won't stretch it out.
However, she is also pointing fingers at the Transport Authority.
My concern is about the Transport Authority. Why they are not in court and why they are not charged just like the taxi man, because if it wasn't for them, there'd be no accident. They don't come at court.
That's because it is alleged that Wint was trying to evade representatives of the Transport Authority when he collided with a Toyota Probox on the Bustamante Highway. The police later revealed that Wint was operating an illegal taxi. However, at the time of the crash, the police say they could not confirm whether Wint was being chased by anyone from the Transport Authority. They pointed out that Wint was speeding and may have lost control of the vehicle. Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
UNICEF has joined Jamaicans in strongly condemning the recent spate in violence against women and children. The organization is calling for urgent and decisive action to address what it describes as a national crisis of violence against children. Shamila Pullen reports.
Communication specialist at UNICEF Jamaica, Donna Marie Rowe, points to a 2023 Jamaica Violence Against Children and Youth survey that shows more than 75% of children and youth in Jamaica have experienced some form of violence. The report shows that physical abuse impacts over half of girls and nearly 2/3 of boys, while 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys have been victims of sexual violence. Ms. Rose says, disturbingly, many of these incidents continue to happen in places that should offer safety, like homes, schools, and communities. The findings also point to a troubling trend of abuse beginning within the family.
Approximately 3/4 or 76% of Jamaican children aged 1 to 14 years experienced violent discipline, and about 7 out of every 10 children, that's 68%, experienced psychological aggression as a form of child discipline. While often intended as discipline, these early experiences can desensitize children to harm, blur their understanding of consent and safety, and increase their vulnerability to other forms of abuse.
UNICEF is urging Jamaican policymakers to prioritize comprehensive legislative reform, including updates to the Child Care and Protection Act, the Domestic Violence Act, and other relevant laws. These reforms, it believes, must be placed in the best interest of the child.
UNICEF stands ready to support the government and its partners in translating these reforms into real protection for every child through technical assistance, data-driven policy advice, and community engagement.
Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
Motorists in Clarendon are breathing a sigh of relief this afternoon after 2 new access ramps were constructed in Freetown to enter Highway 2000. The road is expected to significantly boost commute in the area and reduce congestion in towns like Old Harbour.
So normally if the person coming like from Mandeville or Maypen and wanted to go like Freetown, Sandy Bay or Lansville, they would have to go like Old Harbour and then come around. So now I'm a bit of a traffic in Old Harbour. Even for me I bring my daughter to go to school like Maypen in the morning time, I would actually have to go Old Harbour once I'm leaving from Freetown here, go Old Harbour and come back around on the toll to go Maypen. Now, I just go say, whoops, I'm Ipro, gone on Maypen. When I come from Maypen, I want to come this side with us, whoops off. So right now, that piece of area is a blessing.
Managing Director at Trans Jamaica Highway Limited, TJH, Ivan Anderson, said the access ramps along with the newly expanded Vineyard Toll Plaza were completed to the tune of $380 million and have been funded entirely by the internal resources of the TJH.
No local loans, no bonds, 100% internal resources, and reinvesting the tolls that we have received into our country, into Jamaica.
2 projects that represent more than just improved road access and traffic flow. These developments are real gains in mobility, efficiency, and national growth. For years, motorists could only enter the highway heading eastbound or heading westbound. While the setup might have worked in the past, in theory, in practice it created daily frustration and inconvenience for countless commuters.
It's time for a break now on the Midday News, but stay with us. More local stories when we come back. Welcome back to the Midday News and thanks for staying with us. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances has reported a good start to its 2025 financial year, posting strong first quarter results. For the quarter ended March 31, the company recorded a 20.73% year-over-year increase in revenue, climbing to $226.44 million, up from $187.56 million in the same period last year. Net profit skyrocketed by 186%. Now, the company also more than doubled its net finance income, boosted by increased interest earnings and favorable foreign exchange gains. CFF attributed the strong performance to the continued expansion of its ingredients portfolio and a deeper penetration into regional markets. U.S. Senate Republicans aren't on board with the tax and spending cuts their House counterparts passed on Thursday. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said his conference would seek changes to the tax side of the bill and the Medicaid side as well. The so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act would cut spending on federal health and nutrition programs by $1 trillion to offset part of the cost of nearly $4 trillion in tax cuts intended to be the core of President Donald Trump's domestic policy agenda. GOP senators wanted to do the tax part of the legislation as its own bill instead of piling it all into one gigantic piece of legislation. Some senators are still suggesting doing separate bills even after the House combined them in one piece of legislation. For the Business Minute, I'm Amoy Harriet.
It's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, President of Guyana Irfin Ali has announced September 1, 2025 as the date for that country's general and regional elections. Dr. Ali, who is a member of the ruling People's Progressive Party and Civic, will be seeking re-election. The other parties expected to contest the polls include the People's National Congress Reform (PNCR) and the Alliance for Change (AFC). In the meantime, the Guyana Elections Commission is insisting safeguards are in place to ensure the veracity of the voters list and digital verification. On the international scene, an Israeli airstrike on a Gaza school sheltering displaced people and killed at least 20, mostly women and children, according to local officials. The school was reportedly targeted as a Hamas command center. The strike adds to growing international pressure on Israel over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Anthony Atkinson.
We head to another break, but when we come back, we'll have your midday sports reports.